My name is Kurt Asplund, and this is my studio. Today, we're going to tackle one of the hardest things for any artist to do, and that's to draw the human face. Don't fool yourselves, this is major leagues. It could take you a long time to figure this one out, but there's a couple tricks that I'll show you that can help speed the process up. But before we get to that, I've got this awesome tip.
A drawing tip from
A Dad Who Draws.
Excellent. I love this tip, and I hope you like it too. And it's what I call the position of a face. So it's an easy tip, it's an easy thing to do, and it has a lot of cool results. So on my page, I've just simply drawn a number of round shapes. I'm not particularly trying to make them smooth or anything, just round, odd shapes. These are all going to be faces. And what I'm going to do is just do a simple 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Now here's the thing. If you take a face, I'm going to take this face now and not change anything about it. Whoa! Hey, if you're liking this video, make sure you subscribe right now below so I can keep making more. You got this. And I'm just going to position it to the right of my shape, and it immediately makes it look like he's looking off to the one angle. And then I'm going to position it to the left side and to the top without changing anything, and automatically it makes all these characters look in a different direction. So when you get the shape of your head, if you would only draw the face like to the left hand side, the right hand side, you will automatically give the illusion that your character is looking in a different direction. If you draw that face toward the top, you give the illusion that he's looking up. If you draw that face toward the bottom, well, here's a side profile. Gives a sense that he's looking off to the right. So just the placement of these different features on the plane of the face will do all the difference. The same thing goes with even animals. There's a cat that I've placed the main features up top. On this, I'm making a dog and I'm placing the features toward the bottom. And it automatically makes it look like he's looking to lower to his left, lower to his right. So just by putting the facial features, whatever it might be, in different locations on the object will give a sense of different direction. All right. I hope you like that.
Let's get on to a couple secrets that will help you draw the face.
So start off on your page with drawing 3 oval shapes. They don't have to be perfect by any means, as you can see by my example. Plus, I have to give credit to an old teacher by the name of Carl Ganas, who pointed this idea out, and it was brilliant. So with that being said, the first thing you want to do when you are drawing a face, and these 3 things are most important, and that is to establish the 2D axis. Now 3D comes in space, forward and back, but your 2D axis will go from left to right. So in each one of these faces, you could see that I've created axes, these 2D axes that are just off center just by a little bit. So here I'm going to show you if I rotate the head even more to the right, you can see the axis gets a little bit more dramatic. So when I personally am drawing a head, I will usually start with either an axis line to try and get the 2D style of the head, the axis right, or I'll just draw a shape if I'm doing more concept. And then once that shape is done, then I will put the axis into it. And you can test this simply just by standing up straight, using your head, looking straight ahead, and just move your head to the right. Tilt your head to the right or to the left. And that is the 2D axis. The second most important thing in drawing the head is establishing the 3D axis. What that means is once you've established how the head is tilted, left or right, then you want to ask yourself, is the head leaning forward or is the head looking back? Or am I looking down on the head or am I looking up at the head? So we use this an equator line to establish whether we're looking up or whether we're looking down. I will also use that same equator line to establish the brow line. And I say that loosely because I don't follow that rule all the time, but generally speaking, that line I don't use really for my eye line. I use it for a brow line. This is the line that's going to go across the eyebrows. The last thing you want to do is establish where is the face, the placement of the face along this 3D axis. So here I've just drawn out a few arrows indicating the direction of the face. So following this guideline, these are the first things you want to do when drawing a face. This causes a lot more drama, a lot more interest, and creates a lot more contrast. And those are some of the things that we're always looking for. And this line that we use for the placement of the face along the 3D axis, this becomes our center line. So here I'm going to quickly and just drop in a couple things. Like here's the nose, here's my eye, and in this case I'm using that line as an eye line versus a brow line. And you can see as we use these three secrets or tricks, the 2D axis, the 3D axis, and then placement of face, it just makes our portrait drawing far more interesting than you typically would expect. And just as I draw these quick little smiles, remember this is a little extra tip that I don't even show drawing wise, but the corners of the mouth always line up with the center or pupil of your eye. So once again, we're going to draw our faces, and then you establish your 2D axis, your 3D axis, and then placement of the face. All right, let's try and do one with a little bit more detail this time, so you might get a better idea. So here I am drawing the oval. Again, I'm not terribly worried about its shape. There goes my 2D axis. So the head is going to be slightly tilted. And I've got my eye line or brow line. And I've established that the head is coming forward. And there's my face placement. Now I'm going to draw a nose. And I'm not concerned at all right now with the details. I just want to get the overall structure. Chin. So using this, this is the side of the head. Using this method really will take your even your animation or your characterization to a whole other level, because you really are able to get some interesting facial angles than you typically would by jumping right into eyes, nose, or mouth. Think of these things as a foundation to a building that you're going to build. The eyes, the nose, and the mouth, they're simply the treatments. So what I'm indicating here is these items are parallel to one another. The nose, the mouth, the chin, they're all following the same parallel as the 3D axis. All right, let's do another one here. Again, I don't even care about this perfect oval shape. I just want to get a sense. There's my 2D. Here comes my 3D. Now let's quickly rough in the placement of the face. Okay. Now we know where the face is pointing or looking. Throw a quick nose in there with a couple lines. There it is. Ears go on the side. Chin. And what I just indicated was a jawline. Jawline will drop straight down from the ear, just ever so slightly, and then swing around to where the chin is. You could go on to Pinterest and find different head models. Most of the photographs that you'll find in magazines, people are looking straight at you. So it doesn't really give you a lot of variation for people turning their heads or things of that matter. In this next example, I'm going to use more of a cube shape, and George Bridgman was an artist, and he talked about how the head fits perfectly within a cube shape. So in this example, I'm going to use more of a square shape. So there's my 2D axis. Now I'm going to indicate my 3D axis. All right, and this I'm coming out to establish the corner. There it is. There's where the placement of the face is going. Okay. My jaw, my nose, and my mouth. This guy's sad. So, as you are practicing your head drawing, I would really focus on these three ideas long before you start getting bogged down in the details of eyes and nose and mouth. Those things are very important, but if you don't have the right structure, behind all that stuff, you will find that those things fall apart rather quickly. And you could always pause and come back and try it again. And like I said in the introduction, drawing faces is not easy. I see a lot of YouTube videos that make it seem piece of cake, but it's not. And the best way that you can get better at drawing is simply by practice. So don't be so hard on yourself. You will go through phases of getting better. You sometimes will take steps back and steps forward. But as long as you're practicing, that really is the key. Daily, regular practice. Here's something else to remember, and this is, I think, probably one of the most important things you can put in the back of your brain as you are practicing drawing, is that if you find yourselves to feel frustrated that it just doesn't look right, or you're aggravated, or you're disappointed, that actually is a great place to be at. Because it means that your brain is learning. Your brain is learning. And as your brain learns, it's a muscle. It gets stretched and it's painful. I mean, if you've ever worked out and the first day after working out your muscles hurt, well, it's because they're getting used differently. Well, the same thing goes with learning. So as you draw heads and practice these things and they don't look quite right, that's okay. You're learning and you're going forward. So in these 4 bottom examples, I've just once again drew a couple different shapes, and I'm doing the 2D, the 3D. It's not a 3D axis there, yep. And then we're going to do the face placement. All right there. Great. We're going to make that one center. This one we're going to go a little bit to the right, that one to the left. And let's pop in an eyeballs, some noses. So just by implementing these 3 things, 2D, 3D, and placement of the face, you will get a lot of great variety. Just remember, just if you walked away today with 2D, 3D, and placement, that would be great. And here I'm just showing the corner of the mouth lines up with the pupil or the center of the eye. Now next, after this is done, I'm going to show you a speed drawing of a face that I have done. If you can try and follow along, you could slow it down, but it's just going to show you, using these techniques that are deep in my mind, how quickly you can develop a portrait and have it look pretty good. And that's really our goal, is to draw with confidence and get these things dialed down. Okay, let's move on to the speed drawing now. Good job, everyone.